Chicago. Nice enough to join us. He's the Bulls beat reporter for The Athletic. Darnell Mayberry. How are you today, Darnell? Is Darnell there? Do we have Darnell? Hello, Darnell.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Good to go. Thank you. Sorry about that. Appreciate your time. Look, we've been talking a lot about maybe Zach LaVine coming to Sacramento. We don't know what the level of interest is here. Kyle Draper is really hoping he's got Zach LaVine at the top of his trade wish list. What can you tell us about how likely Zach LaVine is to be available, and what can you tell us about reports out of Chicago that his price tag may be dropping a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, he's been available for the last few seasons, and I think he's sort of taken exception to that because he feels like he's poured his heart and soul into this franchise, and I agree with him. He has. It just hasn't led to team success at a level that anyone's been happy with. I think he's now 7 seasons in, and they've made the playoffs one time. So it's not so much that Zach LaVine isn't a great fit here, or his time's run out. It's just a matter of things with Zach being one of the main characters. It just hasn't led to team success, and it seems like it's time for a new direction. And so I do believe that the Bulls will do all that they can to make him available and shop him this summer and try to get the best package that they can for him.
Darnell, what's up, man? It's Drapes here, man. What would you say about Zach, the locker room guy? What kind of teammate is he? When I watch the Bulls play and I watch Zach, I don't see a lot of smiles from him. I don't see a lot of joy in the game, but I'm not studying them, around the clock. What can you tell me about Zach and just, the teammate that he is, locker room guy that he is?
Great teammate by all accounts. He had a great relationship with Kobe White, longest tenured teammate the Bulls with this current Bulls roster. When DeMar DeRozan came in, we were all wondering how that was going to look, how it was going to work, and it's worked incredibly well in terms of those two and playing well off of each other. Again, the team success is the issue, but they had a good relationship by all accounts. Everything that I could see being around them most days and on most game nights. So no one really spoke bad about Zach as a teammate. The questions that come up are about Zach on the court and whether his style fits or meshes with, a more of a team-centered focus. And so that is the biggest question that has followed him, especially these last few seasons when they haven't been making the playoffs or having a great amount of team success. And so I think that's the question that's going to continue to follow him until he's able to show that he can help lead a team to deep into the playoffs.
That's Darnell Mayberry, the Bulls beat writer for The Athletic. Darnell, just to clarify, make sure we understand what you're saying. We know that during Zach's time there, the Bulls have acquired some good players. Are we talking about his ability to adjust to maybe a lower usage rate? Has that been an issue for him on the court, to just adjust and not having the ball in his hands as much as he was accustomed to?
Zach will tell you he can play in any style, and that's a strength that he feels he possesses. One of the things that the Bulls have tried to do is get him to become more of a catch and shoot player, and just be able to play and be effective off the dribble. Zach likes the ball in his hands, and when you got DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic and an emerging Kobe White, who finished second in most improved player behind Tyrese Maxey, that's going to take away a lot of opportunities from others, or, Zach better be able to deliver. And this is the third time I mentioned team success, because the Bulls are so accustomed to winning, from the historical perspective, and people in this city, that's all they care about. They want to get back to championship level roster, and they just haven't been able to do that with Zach LaVine. And for whatever reason, it's also injuries as well to the other players who've come in. So, it's a lot of issues, but, Zach is still a talented player, and you don't really hear people talk about that being the issue.
Is this the year, Darnell, that they finally break it up, move either Zach or Vucevic?
I don't think so, but they're also stuck a little bit because they're up against the tax, and they also have hit their ceiling several seasons now. And so at what point do you decide we're going to go in a different direction? To me, that time was 2 seasons ago. When Lonzo Ball went down and they got beat in the playoffs pretty bad by Milwaukee in the first round in a 5-game series. The writing was on the wall. They wanted to give it another chance. But now, because you let it go so long, you're having to make these decisions about Zach LaVine first and foremost, and then maybe DeMar DeRozan doesn't re-sign. What are you going to do with Nikola Vucevic? And so on. Alex Caruso is another name that has a lot of interest around the league. And so these are all decisions that they have to make, knowing that this team as currently constructed is not an even playoff caliber team. Forget championship level. They're not even making the playoff.
Yeah, we're catching up with Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic. He covers the Bulls. Wanted to ask you about Zach LaVine, and I know, again, we may be getting ahead of ourselves. We're just wondering about Zach LaVine as a possible fit here. One of the things that some people say the Kings could use is some positional versatility. Zach LaVine, with his size, he's played a little point. He's played some small forward. Would you say at this point, based on what you know and assuming health, that he's a guy that can give you a little bit of positional versatility?
A little bit. The defensive end is where, you always want to make sure that Zach is buying in and giving his all on that end. I think offensively, there's not much that you have to worry about with Zach. Decision-making, I think, down the stretch has been one of his bugaboos and sore spots. And so if you're looking for him to have the ball in his hands in those moments, he's been able to make better decisions. He's had opportunities to make better decisions in the past in those situations. But, he's going to do whatever he can to win games. That is the thing that I'll say about Zach LaVine, is that he wants to win, and he does everything he can to win. My question is whether Zach can do it in sort of a team-centered way, or if he needs to do it his way. And that's the biggest thing about Zach, in my opinion.
Darnell Mayberry joining us here on the Drive, guys. Sactown Sports, 1140. Darnell, what about my boy Alex Caruso? Is he their most prized possession right now? It seems like everybody and their mom want to trade for Alex Caruso.
Yeah, when you look at what he brings, the versatility, you talk about positional versatility and flexibility. That's Alex Caruso in a nutshell, and just going out there and doing anything that the team needs on any given night. And he'll guard anyone from point guard to center. He doesn't care. And then he's on one of the best contracts in the league. And so from that standpoint, he is an incredible asset. You can understand to an extent why the Bulls have been reluctant to move him because of all that he brings. But again, when you put that up against the fact that the team hasn't succeeded and hasn't gone anywhere, their plans haven't played out as they hoped that they would have, you wonder at what point do you want to get value for your best asset as opposed to letting him, kind of rot away and you're not going anywhere in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting which direction the Bulls choose this offseason. I still think they're going to hold on to most of these guys, but there's going to come a time where they're going to have to make a decision. I don't know if it's going to be before the season, maybe it's at the trade deadline, but Alex Caruso brings a ton. And he is a highly, highly sought after player.
Darnell, we've been trying to guess what the Kings will do with the 13th pick. A lot of people are saying that they're aggressively shopping that pick. But the Bulls have pick number 11. What's your best guess here? What's your sense of what the Bulls are looking to do at the 11th spot in the draft?
Yeah, probably they're available and try to extend some of their wing depth. We've seen them do that the last 2 drafts where they actually moved up and got a pick to take Julian Phillips early in the second round, and then before that, Dalen Terry in the first round. So their player prototype is proven. Even Arturas Karnisovas' first pick, Patrick Williams. They're looking for 6'7", 6'8" forwards who can play multiple positions. So I think whoever is on the board at 11. I think that's probably the direction we'll see them go.
Darnell, before I let you go, man, Patrick Williams, what's the deal with him? Is he going to be restricted? And what's his future there?
We're interested. We're definitely interested.
You guys want Zach and Pat, huh?
Yeah.
No, Pat's a pretty good player, man. He's got a lot of potential, and he's still trying to put it all together. I think the Bulls want to keep him. I'd be surprised at this point if they let him go. I think they still know that he's got a bright future, but he's got to do better in terms of bringing energy every night, being able to be effective every night, be able to rebound and things like that consistently. So while he's got a ton of talent in terms of defending and going out there and being a spot-up three-point shooter, there's some other areas in terms of consistency that he needs to work on.
Thank you very much for your time, Darnell. Can we ask before you go, who's going to win the finals?
Oh, I'd be silly if I picked against Boston, right?
There you go.
I think it's
There
gonna
you
be
go.
a really, really, really great series, though.
Yeah. All right, sir. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for your time. Hope to talk to you
Take
soon.
care, guys.
All right, man.
Yeah. There you go. Finally, with some sense. How do you pick against Boston? Thank you.
Going
Thank
against your Celtics, right? At least for this series.
You know me. I love the green. I love the King green. Always love that little leprechaun. When we come right back, the case against Zach LaVine. How does he fit into Kings' needs? And also some of the things JaVale McGee had to say yesterday about what the Kings need when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes.